private chat. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Figure Friday week 40. We have a beautiful week with a beautiful data set that community members discussed and worked on this week. And it's the math test results in New York City data set. So school, I think it's from 2013 to 2023. And just math test results not per student, but per school, like the average score per school over the years in most, if not a great majority of the New York City public and charter schools. So a very interesting data set. We got interesting visualizations that we're going to look in today. But first, I did want to answer Mike's question. One sec. First of all, Mike and Manisha, welcome to the live session. Let me share screen because we're going to go over this. Okay. Share screen. Let's choose this window. I don't know, this tab. Perfect. Okay. Mike, you can see the screen, right?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. So here's our week 40. Adam Schroeder, your community manager. Our data set is right here. They can actually, well, you'll actually have to download it if you want. Go to data.md, New York City Data Portal, and you'll see it here. You can export to download it into a CSV sheet, or you can just look at it via this query data. This is a New York City Data Portal, and they offer a good a table to just look at it to see what you're looking at, right? Numbers tested, mean score, level 1, level 2, and so on, citywide. And then you have the school name. Go all the way to the end. Bronx Charter School, and so on and so on. There's ICAHN and all the public and charter schools. So, Mike, you had a very good question here that I think I've heard before at least once or twice on Discord. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were asking if Plotly Studio is obviously the platform you use to build Plotly data apps, but can you use it directly in the cloud? Is that your question briefly summarized?
Yes.
Okay. Great question. So no, Plotly Studio is a separate product that is connected to the cloud to upload apps, but it's an application that one would have to download onto your computer. And depending on the operating system, it might work for some and it might work for not work for others. We built it in a way that hopefully for now it works for most people, but for people like Mike who have Linux or using the Linux operating system, currently it doesn't work. Hopefully in the roadmap we'll have something where in the future we can actually it will be functional with people who are using Linux, Ubuntu, and stuff like that. For now, it's good for Macs and Windows. But again, even Macs, it's good for Mac with anybody who has a relatively new Macs, I think from 2020 or 19. The Macs with the older Intel chips, unfortunately, will not work Plotly Studio. I think we're also working on that to make it compatible. But you need those Silicon Macs chips. And then the Windows, it works with Windows 10, works with Windows 11. I think there's some Windows machines that have AMD chips, and it might not work with those. But for the great majority of people who join meetups in New York City that I lead, the Toronto meetups, everybody brings their laptops and they start working on downloading Plotly Studio, and they start working on apps. Usually it's 9 out of 10 that have these Windows or Macs that work. Some, 1 out of 10 will probably have a Linux, and then most of them have the new in the machine. So it's fine. But we need to work on it and to make it available for Linux too. So hopefully that'll come out soon.
Okay, it's good that you mentioned AMD. I have one Windows machine on AMD. I haven't tried it.
Okay.
It's just a low end, and I was planning on upgrading to a new one, and I was planning on getting with Windows with the Intel. So
Nice.
that's the direction I'll go. And I think that covers 98% of all possibilities. I'm a little bit odd with Linux.
Cool. All right. So I'm glad that answered your question, Mike. Alex, welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hello,
Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Alex.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Adam.
hello, hello. We have another 40 people who just joined us are viewing us live. So thank you for joining. All right, so let's go over the data set. We saw the data set here, the math test results. And like always, we have a sample image. This is a heat image, heat map of proficient students according to school by year. We have the grades and then the grades, right? The percentage of third and fourth grade. But we also built this with Plotly Studio as a sample. And then we have a few people who created their own apps and graphs that we want to talk about now. Let's see, Alex. Let's start with you. I'm gonna share your app.
Okay. Okay.
Can you see? Oh, you can't see it. Let me, because I'm just sharing the tab. 1 second.
I update the I update the link.
You updated the link. Okay, but let me.
Yes, yes,
Is it on?
because
Is it on Plotly Cloud,
not
Alex?
Plotly Cloud.
Okay, it loads a lot faster than on Pi Cafe. It's like, wow, I
It's
just loaded, but
it's
it's already
amazing. I
going.
love it. It's amazing. Yes.
All right, Alex. There you go.
Okay. Well, basically for this week data set, I wanted to exactly answer the question that Adam did. What NYC school do better on their maths and why? Based on that, I build, I create this dashboard, let's say that use I make up, let's say that way, a unique quality scores. I call the unique quality scores. That basically is a compile or a combination of three different metrics in this case. The three different metrics are performance, that is exactly in this case, as I said there, average of percentage of a student in the higher level, level 3 and 4, that measure academics achievements. Consistency in this is basically the consistency along the years. We have the stability of the result in this exactly level 3 and 4. And equity is an internal gap based on the grade of the school, based on the school. And basically this, obviously this is the less weight in this case, because we have only based on grade and not specifically in multiracial on race or something like that. Okay. Here in the parentheses, you can see that the percentage is based on the weight I did for each one of these metrics, measure in this case column, to build the matrix. At the right, you can see a context filter that is basically place all the years from 2013 to 2023, and also all the school grade. First, by default, you can see here a bunch of cards that key metric for filtering group. Here shows the Baccalaureate School for Global Education is the name of the school, and the percentage, the average percentage of the measure, the metric I create above, that I call, and the number of schools that were analyzed in this first for default, and the 32, the number of schools that are above the average. Here we can see an insight. The insight have identified, this school has been identified as the current leader with 99.1% school performing above average. That's line. Let's explain this with the graph here. The graph here, what I did was build like a scatter plot with two measures. One is the performance, the average performance level in the level 3 and 4, that is the higher, and at the y-axis, the unique quality scores. How did it work? Well, basically the dots means each school, and you can click on one school. You click on the star, highlight the score, in this case the baccalaureate, that is the higher score. You can click on, you can click, select
Alex,
one,
can you hear me? I think I'm getting stuck with it. Can you hear me?
yes,
Okay, my internet something is not
yes, I can
working.
hear. Can you
Okay.
click on, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Where do you want me to click?
In any, in whatever you want, in any point there. Okay, you selected one very closer to baccalaureate. Select another instead of here, maybe above you. Okay, perfect. You select one school. This one school represent the Oliver H. Perry. This is this in the at the right side. You will see a detail panel. This detail panel is compared versus the leader in this case, that is the baccalaureate. And here you can see exactly the matrix. The final score versus the leader is, you can see exactly, is less, and an arrow pointed down to see exactly how the difference is. Also, if you put here Adam in the information, you will see a tooltips here in the car, the right side, no, at the right side there. Here you can see the average performance is the performance of the student achieving level 3 of mathematics, on math test. The
Nice.
consistency, you can see year-to-year stability in performance, lower standard deviation equal more consistent result is based on the standard deviation. And equity, you can see the other one, the equity performance gap between different student groups within the school. Lower gap equal more equitable. And then also the main school and the district representing the school. And at the bottom, you a strategic recommendation that basically some action to be taken, on action item to be taken, that is study curriculum and management models of school with USQ above 66.4. In this case, and these are three recommendations to follow. Of course, here you can play with the filter. You can select one that you want. You can also take advantage for another grade, for instance, or okay, and select exactly special school music, and you compare, and you will see exactly how dynamically this chart is updated. And you exactly you select the one below the dash line, and you will see exactly the result. Is the name is William Alexander, and
Nice.
it's basic, and it's basically what I did, how I like it to approach this data set. And also you can, if you want to, for instance, you can take advantage of the plotly graph, and narrow for instance, selecting the here exact, for instance, exactly.
Nice.
That's
Very nice,
very
Alex.
nice.
I have a few questions for you. Mike, do you have any questions or anybody else here? Or
No,
comments?
it's incredible. I like it a lot. That's really nice. It's a lot of data. The only
Thank you.
one I noticed, one interesting one might be because you have the size of each school when you hover over the dots. I was wondering if there's any correlation between the size of the school and the achievements. That might
No,
be an interesting
no,
insight.
the dot size. You mean the dot size is based on the number of students?
Yeah, but I wonder if there's any correlation between maybe smaller schools have better results and maybe bigger schools have worse
No,
results.
no. In this case, it's not exactly in that way. No, it's not exactly like, because I know this. In this case, you can do it like a PCA. PCA, you make a PCA, you have a relationship between these two. But in this case, no. In this case, what I did exactly
Different.
was using mean, standard deviation, and basically an aggregation by school name, by yearly, and create some feature to exactly make the metrics.
Mhm.
To create a feature, for instance, a feature that I call gap yearly, that is to measure the consistency, basically.
Mhm.
But using
Okay.
pandas, just pandas and this one. And also the other, I use NumPy just to for instance, to create some, there is a figure called jitter in order to add some jitter with NumPy in order that may aggregate some
Less
noise.
less overlap.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's overlap to exactly to see a difference and help to understand, because if so much overlap, obviously
PCA,
there are.
Alex, a
Mhm,
PCA here would be interesting because to answer Mike's question, Mike, I didn't think of that. It's a really good question. Like visually, from what I'm seeing here, and it's always, my naked eye is probably not as good as like PCA or running this through AI, but it looks like the bigger schools, you see these medium and large size schools, student wise, 17,000 students.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. 40,000 up on the right side on the top. So I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
32,000.
is
So, but what I was trying to say is that to me, it looks like that the medium to large schools are they're around the middle, right? They're anywhere from like 25 to like 16 performance,
absolutely,
and they're around the blue line, like around 45. They're maybe slightly,
absolutely,
there's some big ones here, maybe a little
absolutely,
bit below average. But the small
absolutely.
ones, although we see smalls all over, there seems to be a large concentration of small schools doing badly, right? You don't see big schools under 20. If you look here, almost
Exactly.
all of them are small schools under
It's
20.
an
This is an interesting
excellent. This is an excellent observation. Exactly.
under 5,000 or 2,000
Exactly.
are most of the really the
Exactly.
really low
Mm,
performing schools are the smaller, and it could be because schools where students need a lot of help. They're, what is it called, them, SW something, and Marianne was talking about that. They are usually going to be small schools by
SWT.
default,
Mhm,
right? Because when you have kids that need extra help because they haven't received the resources, there's external environmental
mhm,
stressors, there's crime, whatever, um, disabilities, you're going to need, essentially by default, you're going to have smaller schools because these kids need more help. So you're going to have, instead of a classroom of 30 kids, you'll have a classroom with one teacher and 10 kids or 8
exactly.
kids, whatever that is.
Class size. Mhm,
So it's not necessarily, it's more of a correlation than a causation, right? It's not because the school is extremely small that they're doing bad. It's because the children need help that the schools are bad. That explains the lower part. But the upper part, also, we can see that anything above unique quality score that Alice calls, above 60, 65, and above 80 in performance, they're not really any big schools. This is an exception, 23,098 Bay Academy. Aside from that, they're all small schools, 700
mhm.
students, right?
It's an excellent observation. Mhm.
2,000, 1,000. These are all small schools. No, so like the small schools are like the extremes, either doing very badly or doing very well, while the bigger ones are somewhere in the middle, which is interesting to see.
It's
And again, I wouldn't be surprised there because the small schools, part of, I don't know if it's a policy, but part of the attractiveness of a school is the prestige is to being very, very small school. Like you can only get only 1% of the people in it,
mm,
only
an elite.
0.005% of the applicants, because you have to apply for high schools, for example. Only
Mm,
0.05% get accepted. So by being small, they can keep that reputation of like we're special, we're unique. There's not a lot of spots.
an elite. Yeah,
And although
exactly.
it,
It's an
as Alex
excellent
pointed
point.
out, it's a different chart. That would be what I recommended, is a different chart completely. But it's nice that with that feature on the zoom in, you could still actually look just by zooming in like that, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Visually, you can see the
Exactly.
small and big ones right away. That's cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. 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 And also, Adam, as you recommended in the chat of the forum, this data that you share with people, that is added data that basically is about the race, multicultural, white, black. These also help if we include it in the analysis to exactly see why, and also in the internal gap is
Yeah.
exactly is affecting the result, the math result.
Yeah.
And also math is always
The
the topic, the hard topic in many schools.
It's one of the hardest topics, you're right, in many schools. Yeah.
Sí, sí.
Really, really cool, Alex. Your dashboards are so professional and insightful.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
And what I like about
Thank
most of your
Well
dashboards,
designed.
very well designed.
Ah,
Very well designed, Mike said.
thank you.
Very well and it's
It's the
usually
idea, the idea.
you don't have to scroll that much.
Mhm.
A lot of the information is only
Mhm.
like a one page. A little bit of
Yeah.
scrolling, and you can see everything you need.
Mhm.
This could even be like
Mhm.
if you want to reduce the size, Alex, although it's really just small already, but you can make this like collapsible, right? Because this you're probably going to read once. And
Good point.
yeah, and the controls you'll use maybe every now and then. So you could just collapse this, and then the people will really focus without even having to scroll.
In one
Just
vision.
here, yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe even move key insights to the bottom, and then without
Exactly.
even scrolling, they're going to see the graph.
Right to the action. Exactly. Perfect.
Thank you, Alex. Impressive.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So then we had Marianne, which was asking a question here about something that she was working with. There's a long thread about this. I'm not going to go into it right now because she also made an app. We're going to go look into that. Where is the app here? Here we. Is it still
There.
working? I think she put it. Yeah, I fell asleep.
Ooh.
So right now, apps that are on the trial tier fall asleep every 24 hours because it obviously costs the servers and costs us
Exactly.
money. But we're looking into possibly changing that. So even if they fall asleep, like users like you, Alex, Mike, and I can just wake it up by clicking on the link instead of waiting for Marianne to wake it up. We'll see. We might be doing that change or other changes to make it a little bit easier to view apps to fall asleep.
I noticed that when I was looking some apps created in the Vivatom, I see some. Wow, it's very weird that these app are not showing, and
Oh yeah,
this
yeah.
was I.
This is
Mhm.
what for everybody. Dev post, dev.
If somebody uses it as a portfolio, it might be necessary to a third somebody
Exactly.
just viewing to click on it
You're
to
right.
wake up.
This is what Alex and Mike were talking about. This is the gallery from the analytics Vibathon that we had this month.
The Vivatom. Exactly.
The submission period just closed this week. Our Plotly judges and community members are actually judging some of the apps internally through Plotly, and we will announce the winners on the 17th. We'll have a webinar to announce the winners. Sign up if you want to join us. There will also be a category for most upvoted apps. So the ones like here, this is 6 apps, 6 upvotes. One.
There is one that have almost 18 or.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was
31
looking.
in this one.
Yeah, 31. This one.
Let's see if
Exactly.
let's see if it didn't turn off. 1 second.
No, unfortunately, no.
Good. OSD well-being. This was a data set provided by Plotly. And the participants had the opportunity to either work with the Plotly provided data set, which we found from online from OECD, or with their own data sets. A lot of people surprisingly chose their own data sets and really good submissions, really cool apps. Oh, this one didn't completely load. What happened here? Oh, it's still starting. Shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Okay. But anyway, these are the apps. This is a challenge. We'll announce it on the 17th. Please join us. If you want to join us, just go to
Next Friday.
next Friday, but you just go to Plowly/events and you can see all our events on the page. Right here, roadshows, we had analytics, and then you can just register. We put it on LinkedIn so you can register and watch us live. For you, Alex, Mike, whoever joined us from the Plowly community, I can give you a link to the StreamYard as well if you want to join us directly in StreamYard.
Perfect.
All right, folks. I'll talk to Marianne and let's see if we can restart the app so we can later see her app and talk about it maybe next week. But thank you everybody for.
It's a very interesting perspective she chose.
Very
with the
I like it.
looking at students with disabilities and factoring that in as well. Very interesting perspective.
Let me see there for a sec, Mike. Where were you talking about? Oh, right here. Were you talking about here?
Yeah, these two.
Yeah. I like
for English learners. First of all, people who English is not their native language. That's a great perspective to take, actually, because there are a lot of people like that.
It's a big barrier.
Current percentage here is 45. This is for level 1. Yeah, so yeah, it's clear, right? You would assume this, but it's really interesting to see is visually, like whoever is like below basic in performance or proficiency, sorry, it's probably going to be people and kids that are not proficient in English, right? That or never used English. What is this? This is basic. And then we have level and level 4. Okay. Very few level 4 here.
The scatter plot that she did was this one.
This was cool.
Really cool.
Proficiency rate. We see here in 2009. Something changed here. This tells me there's something probably changed in the testing.
Exactly.
It can't be 2009. Every single grade was highly proficient, and then suddenly it just drops in 2013. So everything being red. I think just things changed. But generally speaking, let's look at this last year, 2023, in the data. Even this year, 2022, the lower grades show more proficiency on average than more proficiency than the higher. On average. Yeah, Mariana has also really good ideas. She tackles things from a very unique point of view. I really like her approach. Very similar to Alex. They always think of things that are not immediately in front of you. You have to explore more.
This is one of the first weeks you didn't actually use like AI or modeling. You just used a straight percentage weight, right? You assign percentage scores to each one rather than trying to do a projection.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes, because I try to use clusters, but I see, well, basically, when I started doing this type of thing, I iterate. Let's do a pattern with cluster, cluster, no clear cluster, and I'm going. After it's very interesting, and also using the Python in NumPy, very powerful tool that you can do anything with. I love it for it. That's the
Cool. All right, everybody. Just a reminder that for everybody here with me today and everybody watching us, this Figure Friday, there's nothing special about the data sets where I have a specific choice or bank of data sets where I only want these. I'm completely open. So if you find a data set that interests you, if you can think of an area of a data set that you would like the community and yourself to review and to build apps on and to explore, please send them to me. Right? Offer them on the forum, send them to me on the Discord server, and I'll be glad to add them. The only thing is, ideally, the smaller data sets, the better. The bigger ones, you can always send a link like I just did right now. But, and I'm referring less to like megabytes, but like the size of columns. If you have a data set, and we've done this before, but like with 30, 40, 50 columns, it can be overwhelming. We only have 1 week to do these data sets. So if
Mhm,
it has 5 columns or 6 columns, perfect. It doesn't have way too many rows, also perfect. And then we can analyze it with the Azure Plotly Studio. All right, everybody, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you.
wonderful to talk to you all today and to share our graphs. And I'll see you next Friday.
Have a nice
You
weekend.
guys.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.